Okay, we're recording. It's great. This is my favorite thing to do, is just keep recording the same over and over again. I'm real pleased. Hi, welcome to the Cupcake Fox channel. My name is Namu, and today I'd like to finally tell you about my sim. I've been playing as Boba Fett since 2016. Yes, this is like a confession. This is a 3-year-old sim. I haven't stopped playing. He's OP as hell, and I just like to play as a sim that just makes everybody else fall over and die just by looking at him. And now I should lead in with a warning that this is not like the movie Fett.
As you wish.
This is a lot more like the robot chicken Boba Fett.
Hello! Meant to do it.
This is the first and probably last sim that I've ever gotten the 25 trait achievement, and I initially played as him because I hate making sims. And I couldn't even be bothered to create a sim and put a Boba Fett costume on every single outfit. I had to go and download this sim from a simmer named Star Wars Sims. You can download it too. What a world we live in. Now you can play as Boba Fett. Boba Fett started in a small home. I wasn't using cheats. He had like a small amount of money. I only had outdoor retreat and get together. There weren't very many expansions out at the time, but I had even less than there were available to me. He joined the criminal career, founded the club Boba Fett Syndicate, like in the TV show, except for I didn't watch the TV show. Sorry. And he quickly became friends with Jacques Villarreal, Alexander Goth, and Belle Christensen. Belle Christensen, really interesting sim. I don't know who she is. I don't know where her family went. They used to be there. They did, but they're gone now. I think they died. I can't find her on the internet. Nobody else has ever talked about the sim, and maybe they're just dead. Her and Alexander Goth were the only 2 kids in the club. The club's goals was, okay, I just had to check on the recording and make sure it didn't crap out on me. The club goals were to develop logic, handiness, fitness, become friends, and I had to put in shower because otherwise the Sims would get grody as fuck from working out and they wouldn't even bother showering, and so everybody would become uncomfortable and everyone would have a bad time. The best way to succeed in The Sims is to get into a routine so that all of your Sims' needs are taken care of before they have to go to work, and then you'll find you'll have a lot of free time. And what do you do with your free time? Well, Boba Fett would attend club gatherings, garden, which is a good way to make money, craft items, which is a good way to make money, and you can make furniture so you save money, and study rocket science, and he would be mean and get into a lot of fights, and he would also date a lot of women. I'm not sure what it says about my character that the moment I'm in control of a Sim who's mildly good looking and financially stable and charismatic, that I sleep around with a lot of women and get into a lot of fights and beat up people and kill them. But there it is. As he'd save money, he got promoted. I'd move him into a better house. I was just using pre-generated houses. I wasn't interested in getting into the minute details of the game. I was just trying to get immersed in the gameplay. At this point, I'd also like to bring up that while Boba Fett had a lot of girlfriends, he didn't have a lot of friends. Belle, Alexander, and Jacques were pretty much it. Jacques was pretty special to him, and I really wanted to keep him alive. And that's not easy when you're a senior in The Sims. Pretty much everything just kills you. Working out, dead. You're dead. You're just dead. So I often bought Boba Fett a house that had a guest room prepared for Jacques. Not for all of Boba Fett's romantic interests, but just for Jacques. So Boba Fett was not a very lonely sim because he was mean and he made a lot of enemies, so I like to think that those he did befriend were actually special to him. Now I know I'm just projecting emotion onto a virtual 3D object motivated mostly by code and that he's no more than a glorified doll in my game of house, but I don't think there is a more appropriate time to project emotions onto something than in this very circumstance. For one, it makes the game more interesting, and for another, they are programmed to have emotions, to be happy when they make a new friend, or to be sad during a breakup, or to cry when a loved one dies. So yeah, I like to think that my sim Boba Fett forms profound emotional bonds with only select few Sims that he actually likes. I like to think that he regards Jacques as a mentor/parental figure, even though no one could replace his father. And I forgot, he's actually good friends with Solid Snake. I mean, David and Sonny Gerlukovich. Fuck Hal though. Fuck you, Hal. And I also like to think that he took Alexander and Belle under his wing as sort of his apprentices. In fact, maybe Boba Fett wanted a kid. Maybe Boba Fett wanted to raise his own kid. Well, I could make that happen. I could choose a candidate from the multitudes of women he'd slept with, and Fett would have a child. And then one day, Bella Goth was out for a jog, minding her own business, and this total babe ran past my house and Fett was like, "Who is she?" And if you've been playing The Sims since the 2000s like I have, then you actually know who Bella Goth is. And when I moused over and saw her name, I was like, oh shit, she's famous, I can't have her. But here's the thing, my sim isn't me. My sim is Boba Fett, and Boba Fett can, and Boba Fett will, and Boba Fett did. He seduced Bella Goth, mother of Alexander and Myra? and wife of Mortimer Goth, and he got her pregante. And on the day Bella texted Boba to tell him his baby girl was born, Fett rushed over to the Goth household, ready to sweep Bella off her feet and whisk her away from her family homewrecker that he is so that he could live with his daughter. But when he asked her to move in with him, and she accepted, he could take the baby without taking the mother. And so he did. But the story doesn't end here, because this would not be the last home he would wreck, and this was only the first of many children he would abduct. And if you're interested in knowing more about the adventures of Sim Boba Fett, then let me know in the comments below, or else I won't know. In the meantime, thank you for watching. This has been me on my f***ing YouTube channel.
Open fire! 7
我必死。